Okay, I think we're live. I'm never really sure. We'll see if I can hear the audio as my live stream catches up with me, because there's a funky delay, as always. All right, looks like we're good. Yay. Okay, so this is Photoshop. This is a map that I scribbled in a coffee shop while I was waiting for one of my kids to get out of dance class, and I guess this is what it looks like without the black and white on. This is how I usually draw it. And let's see. So this is a collaboration with Chris Chinn. I've been looking forward to working with him for a while, and he's come up with a rough draft. It's pretty awesome. There's some terrifying stuff in it, and we haven't yet worked out anything about the actual architecture, so this is kind of early or jumping the gun, but somehow I got this idea of a kind of stack of classical architecture with these broad stairways and archways and dormitories that he's put in. So you can see my notes on the left. I've got all the rooms that I wanted to kind of cram in here, and there's some gardens. There's a very botanical, creepy theme here. So the first part of this stream is mostly going to be me finishing up a not exactly isometric, but a circular grid that I started to try and make it easier to draw these things in an isometric angle, but with a circular grid, because I'm doing tons and tons of that. I mean, you can see all these are circles. There's circles upon circles. There's at least kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major thicknesses, maybe 7. So I guess probably this needs to be bigger. I don't know how much bigger. So this is, I had in a previous video that I was going to do, how to do circles, how to do isometric, how to convert 2D to 3D. So this is going to be me trying to use those techniques. I'm going to be stumbling around a little bit because I haven't really done this much with circles. We'll see how it goes. All right, so what have I started with? I've made these kind of radial sprays of lines, and basically I'm going to constrain these because I don't really need this fine a division down here in the center. So it's kind of like this radial grid. Oops, there's my head. I don't have my green screen going on today. I'm getting over a cold, so if you find me a bit froggy, I apologize. That is what's going on. Okay. So I was doing this before. I took a little break. Got to get my head back into it. And so I've got 60-degree lines. I've got 30-degree lines. And now I want 15-degree lines. And I want to constrain those to just that outer circle. So what do I want to do here? Let's see if that worked. I think it worked. Yay. And I'll do my 7s. I always seem to start off with this white background, and I forget to make it a non-raster background. Okay, so I want this to be my outermost. Perfect. And let's have one more ring, except maybe even a few more. And that's going to be my 125% ring. We'll make a copy of it and do a 150% ring. 150% of what? Just the starting size. I'm just eyeballing this, all of this. Did I make that big enough? I did. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Just want to make that reach there. And I think I maybe want some finer subdivisions. 87.5%. There's a bunch of prep involved in making this happen that's not super exciting, but necessary. And let's have a... is that right? Perfect. All right, so then let's do a 37.5%. I'm just, you can probably tell, but I'm just scaling this over and over again to get different rings of different sizes, just to fill in the cracks. And this should be a 75, should be 62.5%, I think. Perfect. And okay, so I only want these shown outside of the 100% ring, I think. So select everything, take away that, and then put an alpha layer. That work? Yes. Cool. Okay. Yeah, the title of this stream is called Live Drawing Scions. That's Chris's title. We'll see. That's a working title, or maybe it's the final title. We'll see. Okay, so now I'm going to use this to kind of map out a bunch of these layers. I guess I can take off this fill, save it, and let's start a new piece of art, and we'll go 3000 by 3000. I don't know. Solid color. Okay, so now what we're going to do is place a linked version of this grid. And it's a smart object. So, and then we'll resize it by the magical... Oh no, what's that about? Why is it already sized small? Okay, 57.7. Oops, I want that horizontally. Right, the vertical height. So, well, it's kind of intimidating. Looking at it now, gotta draw on that. That's a lot. Okay, so, all right, so let's see. Where shall we start? Shall we start with the central auditorium at the top? Okay. Get my drawing layer. Put an effect on it to make sure that I'm always drawing in blue. Okay, so now my job will be to take this and kind of bash it onto this, and I'll just put it down here. Whoa, I want that. And I just got in the habit of using a color scheme for my for my layer organization. I just use green for photo references. It's not really a photo, but it counts. Okay. Name the layers. Okay, so this is just for positioning. How many have I got? I got enough. I want to start the auditorium here. It's not too bright, is it? I can't really see that. So there's the seating area. Now, I guess what I'm missing is any kind of height, so I should probably get myself a grid for that. Okay, so what looks a good vertical height? So what do I want? If I use doorway height, I don't know. Actually, I think the only sensible thing to do is to match it to one of these circle widths. You're witnessing science right here. So I'm hoping if I do exactly that, then I can duplicate this transformation and have them all line up just perfect. So There's a funky key that lets me copy the last transformation over and over again. Let's have a bunch. Merge them all into the same layer. Okay, all right. There's my grid, horizontal grid. We'll see if this helps me or harms me, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't quite get the scaling right. That's okay. I can fix. Okay. Oh, I see what I've done. I got pressure sensitivity on my pen. That's why my lines aren't as bold and decisive as I wanted them to be. So that means this gallery is this tall here. That kind of thing. Yeah, that was the right decision. You're witnessing magic here. Can't draw a straight line to save my life. Okay. No, I guess I had that raised a touch, didn't I? That doesn't look right. Oh, yeah, it's not right at all. There, that looks a bit better. One of the advantages of drawing ruined architecture is that it doesn't matter how wobbly it is. You know what? I should have just copied more of this. Really what I've done is I just copy this and I just need to go up. Oops. Not you. One, two. That was the whole point of this grid. All right. I mostly just really want to spend time on the space and getting it right. Okay, so let's call this, let's say the horizontal ticks are, if they're 10 feet apart, that's a lot. They should be 5. So let's call this, okay, we'll call this layer 80. So then this will be layer 100. Actually, let's just call it, let's just number them by horizontal tick marks in height. So that's 10. And we'll go down 1, 2, and that can be 6. Cool. Now this is going to get really messy soon, so I'm just going to have to turn these off at some point. So do my grids, give that a blue color just to keep that track. Okay, so what do I want to do? I'm going to do some stuff at level 10. Curse of Photoshop, not drawing on the right layer. I'm just using my grid roughly here. See what those back walls might look like. And actually, if I was going to have stairs from the gallery, and the gallery would be here. So this kind of back walkway. Okay, so this is too close because I want some stairs up. Why isn't that erasing? So if I put some stairs, they would, let's say they came from this zone here. So we'll put them there and there. And then if I go up to layer 10, they would go up. Okay. And then let's get the horizontal worked out actually. It's kind of fascinating. Okay, so the stairs would go from there to there. There to there. I don't really need that. Okay. Get my 10th floor grid on. Oh, that doesn't look lined up, does it? let's not make the map too wide up the top here. Okay, so that's a room on level 10 with some stairs coming down. And if I'm going to find the middle of the staircase, I can use the X technique. And just cut it in half over and over again. That looks too fat for stairs, but they might make okay illustrative stairs. Okay. Use those same stairs over here. And let's have some other kind of room. Let's actually just have a little hallway. And I'm trying to make my radial lines line up with the grid so you can see that the line goes from here to here. And I'm trying to be parallel with that just by eyeballing it, but I don't know what this room up here is, but it's important. Let's narrow this up a bit for wall thickness reasons. Okay. That's where the seats will go. Probably have about twice that many chairs, I think. I guess I should save this. This will be 44 Scions. And now, I suppose I could do this all digitally, or I could even print it out in blue when I'm done and then do it by hand. That'd be interesting. Okay, so let's make this staircase 20 tall. And it'll come out to circles in length. All right, so what I might actually do here is put little tiny numbers on my circles. So I've done I think I did a live link into my original illustration, so I think I can make changes to this. I've got snap on. That's why it's looking so terrible. All right, so I've got 11 rings. I'm going to duplicate this to kind of make, so let's just see now. If I save this and I go back to here, I've got numbers on. I don't. Did I do place linked? Oh, I know what I did wrong. I rasterized it. Alrighty. Okay, let's call this one 10. So what I'm doing is I'm just replacing the grids that I had put in here previously with a live linked one, so I can make changes to it and it automatically gets reflected. Okay, so let's ditch these. Okay, so I've got 10, 8, 6. And let's control the opacity in one spot. Okay, back to here. So let's put a little dot. Okay, so now I can copy this layer. Perfect. There, look at that. Now all my reference grids have little numbers on them all over the place. That'll make it easier, hopefully, to do stairs. We'll see. Okay, back to the grand stairs. So I'm just building the cylinder that the stairs are sticking out of. And the stairs are at level... bottom of the stairs is at level 6. So if we put the stairs here to there... and there to there... does that look suitably? That looks pretty grand, I think. Oh my god. Drawing these stairs is going to blow my mind. All right. Not to be undertaken lightly. Okay, so I'll get a copy here. Oops. We'll call it 7. I'll move it up. That'll give me the halfway point of the stairs. If I put it there. Okay, so now that line number 3 is halfway out, so it should be the halfway point in the stairs. It's at times like this that it's a totally legitimate question to ask, why aren't you doing this in SketchUp? Okay, since these are just for position only. Alrighty, so then I had an archway under here. Let's bring it in. Let's have statues. We didn't have statues, but let's have nice statues here and here. And that's probably a rule about how wide archways can be responsibly, and this probably breaks it. Now, Chris had talked about a plaza, so let's go out to how many rings have I used up already just to get here? I'm already on ring 4. This is 4, 5, maybe 6. Okay, I'm doing all right. I got enough room. To figure out how to get people from here down those stairs, and I had looks like in my sketch I had this idea there'd be some kind of parallel staircase, but I don't think that's great. Yeah, the aristocrats would be sitting up there, the higher status members of the order. So they could have a separate stair from the plebeians. I will come back to that. Let's just get more done here. Let's make this plaza half width. That's too complicated. I'm just thinking about how to use this space. I thought about maybe putting some kind of fountain here. That means the railing is here, then there's a drop, and then there's the lower level down here. So I'm just trying to work out how much space I need and want to make it feel plaza-like, but the wider I make this, then all this gets wider, which I don't really need. Work out everything. Hey Carl, is that Carl? Behind your alias? All right, let's go with skinny. Skinny it is. Okay. And I had archways here. Let's go up half a level. Okay, so I need to make a copy of 6. And let's go down into 2 levels, so we'll call that 4. Like that. So I'm just building, this is the landing at the top of the stairs, then I'm going to build another set of stairs. Now these are going to be kind of fun because they're actually, and now I realize they are slightly circular. So I think we wind up with something like that. Fun. And this is just a guide to do the stair depth. This will be for the railings. Perfect. And I guess I went too far. Cool. All right. I think we might need more of this, more horizontal grid. Okay. All right, so just as a reminder, anybody popping in recently, what I'm trying to do is make this same structure that I scribbled down here in the bottom, but in a much tighter isometric form, working out the spaces a bit more precisely. So what I had is I need level 4, and I'm going to now do this part here. Or I guess this layer, the bottom of these archways. And let's just copy this whole staircase. Ta-da. Okay, let's make a new layer. Draw a pillar. So then I can just place it over and over again. Perfect. So these guides are in the middle, so I guess they tell me the top of these archways. These are very shallow archways, aren't they? Have some architects come in and tell me off. Or using impossible stone. Okay, so level 4 is, this is level 4. So this will be the main gateway here. Hopefully that looks appropriately beveled. Actually, that should be skinnier if it's beveled. Because we're looking down on it, so we wouldn't see quite as much as the underside. If I could draw, you know. Okay. So then this is the outer layer of the, I don't know what to call all these layers, but entrance to the garden. And again, we'd have a bevel there, I guess. Now I'm going to need to move my sketch around. Let's just make the whole thing bigger. I have a place to stash it. When I get all kind of precise and draw it all out like this, it loses a lot of the spontaneity of the original. It doesn't really have any, like, it looks a kind of technical and lifeless to me at this point, and I think it's when the hand-drawn details come back in that it starts to look interesting again. But let's persist. We'll do the gatehouse here. Oops. Okay, so I need a second floor. So if you've just tuned in, I'm using these kind of rings to represent the floor plans for each floor, and I'm just turning on and off the ones that I need. So I'm just copying them as I go. So I'll move this down 1, 2 increments. Okay, so what have I got? If you look on this room, there's this kind of a curved gate room down below. So the stairs that come down from here, and the room has this kind of shape. So let's do it more precisely. I'm almost at my outermost ring here. Not a huge amount to spare. But I can always make more. Okay, so actually let's just do these as straight stairs. So from the viewer's perspective, I guess they do flare out a bit. They are a bit wider because they are a slice of a pie, aren't they? So I'm going to copy this and move it up half a level. This should give me the 50% mark for my staircase. Oops. All right, close enough. And those will just be the corners of the what do you call those things? The fronts of the treads. I think this room's too wide. And someone asked me this about a previous video, but when you see me making these straight lines, I'm just using the brush tool. And but if you hold down Shift and then you just kind of poke, you end up with these straight lines. So that's really, really handy for a lot of things in Photoshop. Okay, so what else do I need? So this is level 2. This is level 2 also. This is level 4. It's very easy to get confused. So now if I did, let's make another layer for the front of the gatehouse just so I can keep the layering clear. So these will be the mighty open arch that has been smashed open. That's a good shape for this. What's in your clipboard buffer? And that's still level 2. And I had this little platform jutting out a bit. But we can just leave it mysterious, I think. I'm wondering actually if this would just look better with more archways, with more columns. I think so. Let's make a new layer for this. Okay. Okay. Good, good. And I guess we need to do the railing. It's kind of fun. And this is where it's super handy to have all these radial lines. Because, as you know, the spacing isn't even on these things. Whoops. And that's the underside of the railing. All right. Sometimes it's easy to skip the tough stuff. What have I inadvertently been skipping? There's lots of rooms on level 4 that need doing. That's probably not obvious, but these statues are supposed to be down on the floor. And I think I've obviously haven't extended this room far enough, have I? I just built this arch in the wrong spot is what I did. I think I meant to put it here. Let's actually move it out a little bit so the stairs don't come right out the door. Okay. That's better. Mistakes were made. So this will really come out. Let's make the room light shape. Okay. What else? This is also level 2. No, that's level 4. Let's build some of those. So I've got my level 4 on. Paint on the right layer, as usual. So my thinking with these are kind of outer rooms that might use them for storage if they don't have any sense of threat, but also they could be used for, I could put a couple little arrow slits in them, like you see here. Come back and make those look like arrow slits. Let's have a bigger storeroom here. And let's, why not, decay it a little bit and have a few more interconnections. Okay. Now, this is a steeper angle than I originally drew this, so as you can see in here, there's kind of a pedestal and surgical table here, but I think if I drew that now, it would actually have to be here, which is not ideal. So let's just put another couple rooms up here. And just for fun, why don't we have, so these guys are on level 8. So that's 2 levels up. So if I wanted to have a balcony, I'd like to have a balcony overlooking here. I'm just going to work out how high that is. Where does that have to come in? So if I'm at level 8, this is ring number 3. This is ring 3 here. So where's ring 3 on level 10? Is here. So I'd have to come in here. Actually, this should just be a viewing room on top, right? That'd be kind of cool. Another row of seats. And I'll just have a corridor that connects all these in a straight line. That's not right. Okay. Some kind of royal little box. And let's do some pillars to hold this thing up. Actually, I'm just realizing these chairs are on the same level as this floor at the moment. I wanted them up a little bit, so I might have to go back and do some constructing to put a little stage a little bit higher. So if I took this and moved it up, like that. Okay, and if I did the same thing on level 8, just to get the bottom of that thing, clean up this terrible. All right. So this is the lip of the stage upon which the seats are set. So if I'm going to grab all these seats and move them, not super precise. But I should do the back of the stage. So I can put all that in the right spot later. Okay, let's make a pillar to hold all this crap up. So it'll start, let's say, let's have no archways here. We'll have these, I'll have this be some kind of plinth. And it doesn't have to be too thick, maybe. Oops, that doesn't go there. What's the point of these guides if you don't use them? Okay, so then we'll double them up. And I don't know, I find these guides really handy because, of course, these look probably closer than I would ever space them on my own without being, really, really careful about it. But that's how they should go. Cool. Okay, so let's have a look at my original. So one thing that's not shown here at all is these gardens. I still haven't figured out the stairs here. What else? Oh yeah, outer rooms on the southwest side. Time to move the sketch again. Okay, let's have some kind of bigger dorm, and I was coming out to this ring. And let's have another one. Something like that. And you got to get back to the center. These are very thick walls, these inner walls. This could be a dorm. So let's have two entrances. Now all this work is just really the underdrawing to help me understand where everything's going to be. And I'm not super happy with the way that these are so high up here. I feel like these could all be closer in, and these stairs could have been stairs like this instead of kind of stairs heading out from the center. Maybe it's too late. I don't know. And this outer ring should have some depth to it, some detail. Well, not under there, I guess, but I gotta make decisions later about exactly what do I show with these overlaps. Be kind of cool if there's like a skylight up here, something like that, directly above. You know, I don't know what that is. How high? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 levels above level 8. So level 17. Level 16. Oops. Photoshop, every single keystroke is meaningful, so if you just push anything, you'll get some effect or other. Probably not what you wanted. Let's make it like a domed skylight. I don't know how well this will read on the mat. We'll see. Gotta make sure it doesn't wind up looking like a TIE fighter cockpit. I'll figure that out later. Okay. Okay, the gardens. Gardens are on level. If that's 4, that's 4, and that's 6. Is that 6? Yep. So let's do the outer garden first, and I guess we can make them quite wide. There's no reason that they need to be only as wide as that ring. So why don't we come out to there, out to I wonder how clearly that will read. I guess this will be gone. So the idea is that kind of the back half of this has a ring, and it could connect all the way around. There could be quite a wide garden. And I could choose to make it like a terraced garden, so there's like 2 layers with a railing up here. And you can see down into, and there's other plants and trees and things down here. Or I could just make this a wall, and the garden actually kind of expands and is like a tube all the way around like that. I don't know which. I think a terrace is nice. I just don't know how to. Just got to make sure I can draw that, because then you get this idea that maybe there's a upper gardens, and again you get this kind of class thing happening. Let's give the terrace a go, see how it works out. So that is a level 6 structure. And it's easy to forget that all these walls have to have some thickness, so this garden wouldn't start there. It would come in like this. So if I make this a solid wall, let's just see how that looks. I'll need some kind of 1, 2. I don't know how well that reads. I don't know. I guess if I do like upper garden, might be able to tell. Well, I guess what I could do is have it only go a certain distance out. Those don't quite look evenly spaced, do they? Alrighty, and I already have a railing layer for 6. If I do, then why doesn't that look right? That should be higher, right? all that work and you end up obscuring almost all the relevant details. It's kind of funny. But I think it is okay. So let's combine these two and then get a copy over there. And I came in on a little bit, didn't I? For this upper garden room. One, two. Level 4 for the bottom of this curving wall. We'll see how well it reads when I get some textures on it. Okay. Okay. All right. So, how far can I go with this lower garden? I guess if it is on ring 4, it comes out like this, right? So really it would be... And I just have to do that. And I'll have to use line thicknesses to stop it from being totally muddled up. There's something about this that feels a little bit like a theater somehow, you know. All right. I don't know. It feels like it could use another room around the top, I think. All right. Okay. And I don't know what's in here. Let's actually have it connect. Well, it'd be easier to copy and paste it in if it was the same shape on each side, which is not even a little bit. So that plan won't work. Okay, there it is. I think it reads. I think it'll read okay, you know, with you know, if that's nice and thick and there's a white outline around there and it's very clear what's the altitude, and you can see all the potted plants and whatever else they have growing in the garden. Certainly when it gets to texturing, I think it'll be all right. Okay, and I still got to finish these stairs. So I guess what I could do is make it so that there just is no way down. I could also put stairs down into these upper gardens, just separate stairs. So this is level 8 and that's level 6. So this room is at ring 6, 5, so come in from 5. Okay, let me just work this out. Okay, so if I put a stair and it started here, I'm at ring 3.5. And I could come out, if I want to go down 20 feet, I should have at least a decent run. Like this. So 1, 2. One, two. Neato. I don't know. Don't know if I like that. What I could do instead, and what I think might be better, is to put little steps in here, right? So this could actually come in like this. It could be little. This kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's better. And it wouldn't go there. Probably be here. Something like that. Okay, well, I think it might be time to send this off. I should annotate everything just to make it clear. Get rid of my grids. Skylight. Wraparound garden. Escape tunnel. What else? And we could have a library under here. The gate. What else is missing? Oh, the graftery. Could be up here, could be up here. Cool. Okay. And I guess there would be walls here on level 6. I should put those in. Upper gallery. Cool. All right, so I think that's it. I'm going to declare it a success using these circular templates. I think that worked out pretty well. I will probably be using those again, especially if I get into the circle intensive, the Lyceum from the old Cleft of Five Worlds. The Lyceum was that great big brass thing at the top, and it was going to be very circular. And so now I'm pretty happy with this isometric circular technique. I think I can see myself using that often. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Hope that was interesting, and I will see you all around.